sometimes I admit that even though I realize when I communicate out loud to the rest of the cosmos, and I know that it's getting recorded, because I'm spontaneous combustion, burning a tetrahedron, I just don't think of putting myself on a camera because it's like trying to predict what I'm going to do next, and their system can't predict it because I'm very impulsive. The impulse, the inner pulse, the inner wave. That inner wave is called CQ, which is your creative quotient potential, which is your sensing potential, which is how sensitive we are, which is how deeply we feel. And so the divide, when we think of a divide, or we think of two magnets become one, the one becomes the all, which is silver and gold mated one. The divide becomes, which is really the technology development, the biotechnology development, the software competitive environment, and how technology transfers occurs. But what it really boils down to, ground zero, remember, back to the nuclear core, the first nuclear core, the first star, the first spirit, is when there's not a match. And you know what a match is? A match made in heaven, the higher heavens, the higher God worlds. Because what is a distorted sound wave? They don't match, do they? And how come they don't match? Because they're not in harmony. And harmony is an equilibrium state, which means we're equal unto all the other waves that we're giving love to, so that we zero out our compass. So we're always at the center point of the first magnet, which is the first star, was the first spirit, was the first spin. So the divide has always been those that focus as formations of consciousness, units of consciousness that are all formed, that build networks, seeded races networks. And then you have the teaching class, the teachers, the spirit guides. What happens is the spirit side, because it began with spirit, and the biotechnology side do not match up. One is trying to outrace the other one. When the technology side exceeds its ability to be in harmony with the spirit side, what happens? Cell destructive technologies, because the spirit is in the cell. After 985 billion years of cell destructive technologies. And how does that occur? I'll give you an example. In a free will universe, like a unicycle, the first universe, the first unicycle, the first microorbit of an atmospheric state of consciousness is always in perfect balance. So my free will, which is my creative quotient, because I'm on fire to create, because I'm on fire to learn more of what I'm creating, that is new and different from before, is the absence of fear. That means that I already know that the next moment, which is the next completion of a circuit, is already going to be what it is that I am, which is zero. So when you're always at zero, you're always experiencing the one. That's a perfect match. An equilibrium state of consciousness, which is one side is sharing equally with the other side, between polarities, to cancel out the polarities, to experience zero polarity, which is, I'm not experiencing electromagnetic spectrum. Nothing's happened yet. I'm not experiencing the technology yet. So the deity planes are not held captive by any technology, no matter when and ever it's ever been created and developed and brought into matter state existence. That now your consciousness, which is pre-tech, can now experience that tech. Go run the tech. Go run the codes. Now you can experience it in your mirror. That's why we're at. Because they don't listen to us. See, we can see the result before they can, but they don't listen, even if we can. And the beautiful part about that is that when you're always with the one knows, already knows the result of what they're going to do. but they haven't seen it yet because they haven't experienced it yet. So now that they experienced it, it's a matter of whether they remember and learn from their lessons. Lessons learned from the past. As a result of experiencing something in the past that doesn't serve future memories. And how that relates to zero memories. When you're always on fire to create something new that is different from before, but whatever it is, it's going to be manifested at a pure, eternal, absolute love energy, always being with the first spirit, which is the first creator, the first CD, the first CD, the first triangle, the first tetrahedron. It's always a lot when my spirit breathes stuff like that and shares it on a camera. Thank you all for being here. Dance the night away.